it's Lindsay. Welcome back to The Wandering Reader and welcome back to another weekly reads video. It's been a couple of weeks since I updated you on what I've been reading, and that's because we spent a few days in Barcelona at the beginning of this week. So we went Saturday to Tuesday, and it was for my husband's birthday. He turned 30, so yeah, we had a really lovely time. So yeah, I didn't get an opportunity to film at the end of last week, so I just thought I would update you all on what I've been reading today instead. So over the last couple of weeks I have finished 3 books, so let's jump in to what I've been reading. Okay, so the first book that I finished was Normal People by Sally Rooney. I had about 80 pages left to go in this when I updated you last, and obviously it didn't take me too long to finish this off. I have the same opinions on it as what I did when I talked to you about it a couple of weeks ago. So in case you're not aware, this is a book that's following Marianne and Connell, and at the beginning of the book they are in the last year of school and about to go off to university. Marianne is a bit of an outcast at school. She doesn't have any friends at all. Connell is part of the popular crowd. His mum does the cleaning for Marianne's house, so he goes to kind of pick his mum up and stuff, and a relationship develops between the two of them that they kind of keep quiet, or he keeps quiet anyway. It's basically telling, it's not really a story in a sense, it's more sort of like a character examination, and it sort of documents their relationship through the years. And I sort of appreciated what it was doing in terms of, you know, it gave a snapshot of modern life, it gave a snapshot of, you know, young relationships and that kind of thing, and some of the issues that you might have to deal with being a young person, sort of off at university and then sort of just after university. But I didn't really understand what not everyone, but what a lot of people's obsession was with this book. I didn't like it as much as everybody else. I might pick up her first one. I'm not sure though. So I think I gave this 3 stars in the end. I had to take my cardigan off. It's been really sunny this week in the UK. It's been really lovely. It's only about 14 or 15 degrees, or a little bit less than that over the week. But it's almost like it's the first signs of spring. It's been really exciting. So I was out in the car earlier on and I felt really warm in my coat, and sitting up here filming I felt really warm in that cardigan. So yeah, it's just spring is in the air. So anyway, the second book that I finished over the last couple of weeks was When a Scot Ties the Knot, and this is by Tessa Dare. This is the 3rd book in the Castles Ever After series. I started this on my Kindle ages ago, well before Christmas, and I decided to pick it back up again. This is a story about a girl called Maddie, and she has just inherited this castle in Scotland, and when she came of age she came back from this party and invented somebody that she had gotten engaged to kind of get her parents off of her back. She wasn't really interested in the whole dating scene. She's a bit of a got a lot of anxiety, that sort of thing. So yeah, so to try and get her parents off of her back, she invented this fiance called Captain Logan Mackenzie, and she wrote to him all the time and that sort of thing. And then she inherits this castle, so she moves up to Scotland, and one day she gets a knock on the door, and it's a Captain Logan Mackenzie who has come to marry her. He basically, her letters reached somebody that was real, and he wants an estate for his men now that the war is over. I'm not really sure what war they were fighting, so he kind of comes to marry her, and it's about the relationship between the two of them. I wasn't really enjoying this at the beginning of the book, and it's not my favourite in the series. There's a lot of Scottish dialects that, although it kind of made the story a bit more authentic, I don't know, it made me kind of disconnect with the characters. Also didn't like how, I don't know, at the beginning of the book Logan was quite bolshy, and I didn't really like that kind of whole masculine bravado thing going on. And there were a couple of references in here to things that were a bit more modern. Like, it's not really obvious when this book is set, but it's clearly set like in some sort of historical time frame. And there was a bit where she was getting ready to go somewhere and someone was doing her hair and they used curling tongs. And I was sort of like, it's not really in keeping with the rest of the novel. But anyway, yeah, there was just a few things about it that I didn't like as much. I did, you know, ultimately it was nice watching their relationship grow and things like that, and there's quite a bit of hot and steamy stuff in here. Yeah, and there was some commentary in here on sort of women doing things outside of getting married and things like that, which that sort of theme has run through the 3 books in the series, and I really appreciated that. So yeah, I think I might have given this one 3 stars as well, something kind of along those lines. So yeah, it's been a really good series. I think that was the last one in the Castles Ever After series. I'm not entirely sure, but I've got a couple of other books of hers, and she's written one other series, I think, and then she's got quite a few standalone books, so I'm looking forward to diving into those. And then the last book that I finished this week was one that I listened to on audio, and it was Bad Feminist by Roxane Gay. This is a series of essays that she wrote about being a feminist, but also about being a woman, about different aspects of sexuality, and about being black, and yeah, just her different experiences, you know, living in America and in the modern world. And it was really interesting listening to her perspectives on different things. You know, some of the things that she talked about, I wasn't sort of expecting that to be in this sort of essay collection. Like, there was one essay where she was talking about playing professional Scrabble and the different things to do with that, which I found really interesting. But she also talks about a couple of films that she had watched, and, you know, she was sort of finding fault with them when it came to being African American in America. Which is a perspective that I'd never really thought about before. Like, she was talking about The Help by Kathryn Stockett, and I don't think I realised, or maybe I did, that Kathryn Stockett is a white author, and so she was sort of talking about, you know, is that okay, but yeah, she was just sort of like discussing that whole kind of thing, which I found interesting. It's definitely something I'd never thought of before. Yeah, so I thought she had a lot of really interesting things to say, and I've got her book Not That Bad lined up to listen to on audiobook, so I can't remember where I am in the queue for that, maybe 2nd or 3rd, and that one is, I think, about rape culture, and I think that's essays from a few different people, so I look forward to listening to that too. I think I gave that one 4.5 stars in the end. Really enjoyed it. Then I am reading a couple of different books at the moment. So the first one on my Kindle is called A Princess in Theory, and this is by Alyssa Cole. This is the first book in the Reluctant Royals series. This is one that a lot of people have talked about on BookTube and really enjoyed. So sort of flicking through, and I decided that I would give this one a go. And this tells the story of a woman called Letty. And Letty is making her way for university. Her parents died when she was very little, and she has grown up in the foster care system, and now, obviously being at college, she's sort of gone out on her own. She works, I think, 2 or 3 different jobs in order to support herself, you know, working really hard and not really having much of a support system to fall back on. Okay, I don't think the lighting's changed, but we just had our groceries or our shopping delivered. So yeah, it was a little interruption, but there we go. So I think I was talking about the fact that Letty doesn't have much of a support network around her, you know, and she's just working really hard to be a success in life, and she keeps getting these emails from somebody who is claiming to be you know, a representative of a prince in some sort of country in Africa called Thiasolo. I don't think it's a country that exists, but I could be wrong about that. I don't think it does. So yeah, and you know, claiming that she is the princess that he's supposed to marry, blah de blah de blah. And of course, you know, like emails like that, you just press delete and move on. But it turns out that he is actually real, and that's where she's from. And yeah, the two of them are just sort of like meeting at the moment, but she doesn't know who he is. So I'm about 50% of the way through that. Really enjoying it. It's different in tone from a lot of the romance novels that I've read before. It's not quite so overt, and it's dealing with a lot of other issues, which I really appreciate. There have been some hot and spicy moments in there so far, so yeah, it's something to bear in mind. But yeah, really enjoying that. And then on audio, I've listened to about the first half an hour of The Book Thief by Markus Zusak. This is of course a book I've read before. I read it about 10 years ago now in physical format, but my library has a copy of it on audio, so I've been in the queue for that for a while. That finally came in, but as it's been half term this week, I haven't listened to any of my audiobook at all, because you guys know that I usually listen to it in the car on the way to and from work, so I haven't had an opportunity to listen to that. So like I said, I've only listened to about the first half an hour of it, so I'm looking forward to continuing that on. And then lastly, the physical book that I am reading is Everything I Never Told You by Celeste Ng. Again, I've only read the first 16 pages of this, not particularly far in. I only took my Kindle when we went to Barcelona because we had limited luggage space, so you know, a Kindle is just one little thing to take in your hand luggage. So yeah, I kind of left this at home and I haven't picked it up since, but just in case you aren't aware, this is a story about a family that are, they're a Chinese American family, and they're living in Ohio in the 1970s. And at the beginning of the book, one of the daughters of the family goes missing. I think she's the eldest daughter. And I think it's going to be that she ends up dead. And I think it's about the family dealing with that, and sort of like secrets that are in the family and things like that. I think that's what it's about. I really like the writing style so far. It's super easy to read, and it's really interesting. Like I said, I just haven't had an opportunity to pick it back up again, so I will try to do that over the weekend, get a bit more of that read, and see how I like it. So there we go guys, that was a little update of everything that I've read and I'm currently reading. I'd love to have a chat with you in the comments below about anything that I have discussed today. Thanks very much for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.